Okay, right, let's have a look at McDonald's as an individual example of globalization. So there's different reasons why we can say that McDonald's is an example of globalization. So it's a business that started out in one country, started out in the United States, and has now grown and is found in many countries across the world. Because of all the different products it sells, it means it buys those products from all across the world, so it's involved in international trade. And it's also been accused of changing the culture of some of the places that it's got its restaurants in. So it's been accused of this idea of westernization, taking these American values and American cultures and sort of taking them to other countries where for some people those things aren't welcome. So let's have a little bit more of a closer look. So it's in the last 5 years there's really been a massive increase in the McDonald's around the world. And in the different McDonald's restaurants all over the place, you can get the traditional food like you would expect to find here, so your burgers and your nuggets and your milkshakes. But what they're also really good at doing is changing it a little bit in order to fit in with those local food customs. So, for example, in Singapore, in Asia, they sell rice burgers, and rice is really popular in Singapore. In Hong Kong, again, in Asia, they have a McShrimp burger, okay? In Germany, you can buy beer. In Canada, you can get McDonald's pizza. So, whilst you can argue that they're taking Western food into other countries, they are also adapting that food so that McDonald's is able to argue, well, okay, we are bringing over these American products, but at the same time, we're also respecting local food and local customers, and we're giving consumers more choice, okay, in what they want to eat. Now, McDonald's is viewed very differently in different places. So, for example, in the USA or the UK, if you've got a job at McDonald's, people might take the mickey out of you, they might laugh at you a little bit. However, in Venezuela, McDonald's is seen as being way more positive than that. They have got involved in programs providing work for young people and youths, sort of getting them off the street, getting them out of gangs. So Venezuela is a country in South America that's had a lot of problems with gang violence and organised crime. So it's become a really popular place to hang out, and it's seen as a good place to have a job. This one seems crazy to me. Imagine him walking into McDonald's in the UK and seeing a wedding going on. But that is what you can see in China. So the McDonald's is maybe seen as sort of stylish and foreign and American, and therefore it's sometimes in China a place that people would choose to get married. Okay, so that shows you some of the sort of the advantages that the sort of globalization and McDonaldization is having in different places. However, just as with globalization itself, there are disadvantages as well. And an example of this is in South Korea. Again, South Korea is an Asian country, and there's been a bit of a movement against McDonald's because some older or more traditional people in Korea feel like their own food and their own traditions are being eroded. So they're sort of worried that younger people are turning away from the traditional food that you might cook in South Korea and are using Western ingredients, using mayonnaise and ketchup, and that the traditional Korean food is becoming more and more popular. It's also see, in South Korea, it's traditional that you put all your food in one bowl and you eat all that food together. However, with McDonald's and getting everything in separate little packets, there is now sort of a belief of some younger people in South Korea that the traditional way of eating food, all from the same bowl, is embarrassing, and it's kind of like, it's not something that you would do in the modern world, and they kind of look down their nose a little bit at it. So that's a concern for some older, more traditional people in South Korea. They see McDonald's as bringing across different ideas that don't fit with their culture the way they would want them to. As well, there's also the problems that you looked at last lesson with obesity and huge amount of illness, but also this idea that because it's fast food, it's eroding the idea that food is a time for family to come together. You know, you put away your mobile phone, you have a conversation with your family, you chat and you catch up on your day, and you all sit down together. And there is the concern in a lot of different cultures that McDonald's and other fast food restaurants like it, not just McDonald's, are taking this away in a way, and it's promoting fast food and eating individually, you know, rushing from one place to another and just stopping off for a burger, or, you know, just sitting down and chatting on your phone instead of chatting to the people that you're with. Okay, so that's a bit of a quick run through of advantages and disadvantages of McDonaldisation in different places. There's also another little YouTube video just below this for you to watch as an example of something positive about the growth of McDonald's. So have a go at the rest of the assignment now, and as always, if you've got any questions at all, then drop your teacher an email and we will do our best to help you. Okay, bye Year 7.